A monumental shift is happening towards the end of March. Saturn, the planet of karma and material manifestation, is changing signs. For the first time in 30 years almost, it is moving to its most favorite sign in Aquarius, where it can do the best according to ancient astrology. And what does it mean for you personally? It means that the end of a serious problems in your life. For many of you, towards the end of March and April, you'll see the end of certain troubles, of certain situations that were too complicated, that were too restraining, or that were too limiting in some way. The end of certain responsibilities, the completion of certain responsibilities and the results of them, but also moving into a totally new set of priorities and important lessons that you have to learn. The start of a new bunch of karmic lessons with Saturn moving in Aquarius, which will actually give very good results by the end of this period. It's going to take about 2.5 years for you to see the results. It's almost like while Saturn was in Capricorn, you were building the foundations, you were building the structure of something, you were disciplining yourself. And when it moves to Aquarius, you're going to now build the infrastructure, you're going to build the connections and the networking to achieve that goal or that that great work. So there will be a refocusing, a change of directions for all of you gradually from the end of March, from one set of priorities and difficulties to solve and lessons to master to another set of priorities and lessons to master, which will end up in the fulfillment of a great work, in the achievement of a great work for you. So exciting times, guys. March also brings Mercury going direct. So great news, 2 planets in their own signs. So listen what's going to happen for each of the 12 signs. Plus, we are doing an apprenticeship, so our second apprenticeship, one-on-one with a tutor, with an amazing astrologer, the best astrologer I've ever seen, with the best predictive techniques, Victor. It's his second apprenticeship. We already had our first apprenticeship group, but you work one-on-one with the teacher, graduate, and out of that apprenticeship group, 4 people are going to be working with us, will be astrologers that you will see that they will do videos with us. So if you'd like to have a chance to work with us with Astroladder, or just to learn astrology as a master, come and join us for this apprenticeship. Very few people, he cannot take many because he works one-on-one with them, and it's 30 or 20% off till the 20th of March. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, March 2020. Let's see the influences that only for March, that you feel them only in March, and then we'll proceed with Saturn in Aquarius that will affect you for 3 years. So first of all, Mercury is turning direct, Libras, and this is happening in your 6th house and 5th house, and then 6th. It was going retrograde in February over your 5th and 6th houses, and now it's going to start moving forward. So around the 10th of March, if there was some complications or delay or difficulties connected to your children, connected to romantic life, or connected to some creative project, they'll start, or if you have to put extra efforts or redo or re-edit something there, or you know, some restructuring, some revisioning of how you have fun and of your love life and your entertaining and your amusement life, it will start becoming more less difficult, and it will start, such areas will start becoming more predictable, more settled, more easy. And also if there were some complications with your 6th house, which is health issues, some flaring up of, you know, or having to put extra effort to battle some unhealthy habit while Mercury was retrograde, to re-examine some health habits, for example. Then when Mercury starts moving direct towards the middle of March, you're going to start feeling that it's no longer such a strain for you. Maybe if you start stopping some bad habit or whatever, and disrupting the normal flow of everyday events and everyday habits that you have, it's hard while the planet is retrograde. It requires more willpower, and when it starts moving direct, it starts normalizing. Or maybe if there were some health problems that were flaring up when Mercury starts moving direct into your 6th house, again, they will subside and they will be resolved. Or if there was some surprises with your health, again, they will be more stabilized. Also, the sixth house is work. If you had to work extra hard on some project behind the scenes, or something to do with organizing, with arranging, or some responsibilities and duties that are a bit demanding, that are, that took longer to organize and to make happen, that required more efforts. When Mercury starts moving direct into your sixth house again, they'll start sorting themselves out. If there were some complications in your working environment with colleagues, again, when Mercury starts moving direct, they will start improving. Or if there are some complications with animals, with pets, or with employees, it's sixth house rules that as well. People that you employ, people that work for you, if there are some extra efforts had to be done or unexpected developments, when Mercury starts moving direct, they'll be sorted out. Then we're going to have Venus, the planet that rules you, and it's one of its own signs. So it's going to manifest positively and nicely for you there. It's in the 8th house. First of all, it can give you more sexual intimacy with a partner in March, more feeling connected on a psychological level with another person. It can draw you towards more exotic sexual connection. It can draw you towards more private, intimate relationship with someone that's more hidden, the 8th house. But also, 8th house is connected to mutual resources and finances. It can be a month that your finances increase, or you benefit a lot through clients or through your partner, like your partner's resources can come, or you can receive something from another. Maybe you can ask for help, and Venus will, maybe you need someone to borrow someone's resources or something from another person, or their talent or their skill. You can ask them, and often when Venus is transiting the 8th house in its own sign, you'll receive that more easily. You can receive like something valuable from another person, or some bank loan if you want, or you can make some investment in mutual bonds or mutual kind of your marriage finances in the right place. You might just you can really find where to invest your money together, of your marriage or your business, mutual resources, that is the right place to invest in, because Venus is very strong in its own sign in Taurus, and it rules money. Also, you can benefit through taxes in some way, or you can find a wise counsel or wise advisor, which is Venus, that can make you save money on taxes, so that can make you alleviate some tax burden, or insurances and inheritances. You can benefit through such. You can receive money through clients as well. Another thing the 8th house rules is, and Venus is to enjoy something. You can enjoy learning about handling mutual finances and resources as well. Or you can enjoy, and the other thing is you can enjoy astrology, the occult, learning about the hidden subconscious, exploring the subconscious, any taboo topics, learning about, not only learning, just indulging in such. You can really enjoy such kind of hidden occult knowledge now and benefit through it. Another level we have is that in March, Mars will be exalted in your 4th house, joining Jupiter, Libras. So for the past 2 years and a bit longer, Saturn has been in your 4th house, a family, home, often bringing responsibilities, duties, some delays, some blockages, like, just making it hard work. And Saturn is moving out of this 4th house. So if there was any delay in finding the right property, or too many responsibilities with parenthood, or with parents, or in your work, or in your home environment, trying to some fixing and some changes around the home that took too long, when Saturn leaves towards the end of March, the last week of March, your 4th house, you're going to feel a great relief. Such blockages to finding the right place to live, or selling a house, or too many responsibilities with home and family, or some difficulties with family members, they lift off. You're relieved from them. And at the same time, Saturn is leaving your 4th house for 3 months is going to leave you. So this ban or blockage on or delays there in your emotional life, or even heavy emotional, it feels heavy when Saturn is in the fourth house, emotionally heavy. It can feel like there's like a stone here on your chest sometimes, working through some family karma almost. You've been paying family karma for the past 2 years, and you've been working through complexity of family life and learning to be more organized, more disciplined, to be more responsible, taking on some karmic duty towards family as well. But this is lifting off. Saturn is leaving that fourth house, but now Mars and Jupiter stay. And Mars will be out of your fourth house by the end of March, but Jupiter will stay there till the end of the year. But in March in particular, Jupiter and Mars are starting a new cycle in your fourth house. So they can be like a new opportunity that comes to you in regards to home and family, like a new property, new home, new family member, new opportunity to invest in property, or to, if you work in any career that's fourth house, some powerful new opportunity for your business, for your career, which is connected to nurturing, to gardening, to home, to real estate, to policing as well, to guardianship, to even teachers of sort of the fourth house, like who teach at school, in such kind of positions. But what I'm trying to say is that there will be some opportunity coming, and more excitement about your family life. And opportunity comes, Jupiter and Mars means you act on it, you go and grab it. Opportunity comes about either moving or live, or your home or your environment, your family, and you will grab it and you go after it. All right. But Saturn is moving into, and Jupiter and Mars are making a wealth yoga in your fourth house. Temporary one, but what does it mean? A source of wealth in March can appear, which is connected to property, to land, to something coming from your parents or from your extended family. Accept that, or some opportunity, maybe to work with family members, maybe to start something with family members. I would advise you to accept it and to do it. If it's meant to, you can find something buried in the ground. The fourth house is the ground in your garden that can bring you something valuable. That's extreme case, but for example, it can be an opportunity to sell some family heirloom, or that someone that gives you something valuable of your family, or that you can start something with your family, or that you can invest in property, or that you can something connected with home, family, property, vehicles as well, will become a source of, can become a source of wealth. Mars and Jupiter creating wealth yoga. It might take 2 years to see fully everything, because till the next cycle of Mars, Jupiter, it might take this can continue to be a source of more wealth for 2 years, two and a bit years, till the next Mars conjunct Jupiter. All right, so that's about it. But Saturn is moving into your fifth house for 3 months. So you're going to get a glimpse of what it is like to have Saturn in the fifth house. And it's going to come back again from December 2020 and will stay there for 2 years. So what is the fifth house? Saturn transiting the fifth house can put a damper on your love life because of responsibilities, because of duties. It is Saturn, it tends to dry, to cool off. But the ultimate goal is not just to ruin your love life and to make you miserable. It's more like connected to you to figure out what your priorities are in your love life. How do you want to be loved? How do you want to give and receive to a partner? It can also indicate that you're re-examining what is the things that are important for you to make you feel loved, to make you feel special. But Saturn is doing really well in its own sign. It's not as painful, it's not as harmful when it's in Aquarius. So they can be dampening a bit also of having fun, because fifth house is to go, to let your hair down, to enjoy yourself without, to grab life fully with the hands. But Saturn says, no, you have to learn to enjoy life in measured ways, in ways that are not out, that with boundaries. So I often seen when Saturn transits someone's fifth house for some time, for a year or two, They have to learn to live, for example, more, to live and enjoy life with moderation. For example, sometimes it means like stopping drinking for some people. Others means stopping excess excess dating, anything that is excess that you consider pleasures and joys and having fun in life. You kind of rein it in for a higher long-term goal, usually, because you have, like, especially Saturn in Aquarius, it works for goals. Aquarius is an opportunistic sign of goals. So whatever you're giving up in regards to love life, or in regards to having fun and enjoying yourself, you're giving it up, or you're restricting it with a goal in mind. It's not going to be so much as you're forced into it. You're going to want to experiment and to see what kind of long-term benefit it's going to give you. It can also indicate increase of responsibilities with children, for example. Sometimes it can be the birth of a child. Sometimes it can be like a child is going through a period where they need you there to help them, or a period of maturation and growth and distancing themselves. Sometimes it can mean a child leaving the nest. Or if it's young children, it means they're going through some period of growth and maturation, and you have to approach your relationship with children in a much more mature way, to start teaching them something. Saturn is to be more authoritative, to put more boundaries, to start teaching your children discipline of some sort. If you've been too lax or too easygoing, now you have to really kind of, you learn to create some system to put order around your children. And the fifth house is creativity as well. When Saturn transits there in your fifth house, it will mean that you need to structure your creative impulses. And you have to learn to control them more, those creative impulses. What does it mean? For example, if you're a writer, or if you're someone who is a graphic designer, anything that requires creativity, or you have your own business and you constantly have to think of new ideas, how to promote this business. The fifth house is new ideas. But with Saturn there, it makes you very focused on those things, especially in regards to business, but it can dry out the creative impulse. And the only way to continue it is if you have to force yourself daily, little by little, to give yourself certain tasks, certain creative, like, oh, today I'll write 5 pages. Every day I'll write 5 pages. You might not feel like creativity is flowing so easily, but you learn how to control it and how to structure that creativity. Another good thing is that can happen is that the passion of yours, fifth house, is the passions, the natural talents that we have. Something that we're very good with. Say, for example, you start playing tennis and you find out that from the beginning you're very good. This is a natural talent. To say that you realize you're very good with computer games, or you're very good at knitting, or it's a natural talent that you carry, or very good at public speaking, whatever it is. Such natural talent, Saturn can, when it transits the fifth house, can help you turn it into career. Can help you get some material results of it, can help you put it into some constructive shape and form, and make something useful out of it. Make it a goal and purpose. And Aquarius is an opportunistic sign of gains. So you can turn a hobby of yours to something that we call creative gift of yours, or natural talent of yours. You can really start working hard on that talent of yours and turn it into a work, turn it into career. And the natural creative intelligence of Libras, being ruled by Aquarius, is it's kind of quite based on knowledge. So it can be a fantastic time to start learning something in depth when Saturn transits the fifth house. It's one of the houses that make you want to get knowledge, more deeper knowledge as well, to study something. And it's usually something that you have passion for, because the fifth house is something that you really like, something that you're really passionate about. And Saturn can make you get very serious about that. Also, going back to love life, I don't want to scare you that it can be, sometimes there can be some karmic lessons with love life and some obstacles, especially if Saturn is making hard aspects to your other planets in your horoscope from the fifth house. It can challenge your love life and your self-confidence. But it's the ultimate goal is to build more secure foundation for your self-confidence that is based on something way more stable, and to secure way more stable love life as well. And Usually when Saturn transits the fifth house, because it doesn't mean there'll be no love life or anything. It means that you have to mature towards it. And it can mean that, for example, you can start a romantic relationship if you're single with someone that is more Saturnian in nature, someone that is older, you have age difference, or someone that you connect through work, for example, or someone that you have some responsibility and duty towards, or someone who teaches you about boundaries as well. But usually, when I had Saturn trans the fifth house, because I was dating someone for 2 years that was 24 years older than me. We have great fun. I did not think my love life was suffering. It was just very Saturnian, much bigger age difference. And yeah, there was some heartbreak here and there, but overall it was just, so you don't have to expect that it will be the worst or whatever. Also, there can be responsibility through children, as I said, or you just focusing on some creative or creative passion of yours very seriously, and instead of just having fun and more learning how to have fun in more restrained way and such matters. But yeah, it can feel a little bit like you're um, having to hold on hold in your horses, uh, and um, and kind of work on yourself a bit more. But from next year, Jupiter is going to enter your fifth house from the end of next year, and will be there with Saturn. So it will be very manifesting years for Libras in their love life. It will be some of the most important matters in regards to love life can happen in regards to creative projects, in regards to speculative investments as well, in regards to children as well. It can manifest. Saturn and Jupiter together manifest, like it can be birth of children for Libras, um, or important developments with love, creativity, children, business. If it's your own business, then it's fifth house because you're the creative mind behind it. um, but as I said, I think if you want to start your own businesses, Saturn in the fifth house over the next 2-3 years can help you with that. Can help you structurize a hobby or something you're passionate about, and some great idea you have. The fifth house is a great idea to structurize it, to uh, make it real, to make it tangible in some sort. So thank you so much, Libras. Hope that was helpful to you. And I will see you next month.